Hi friends and fellow transsexual Transylvanians. My name's James Vásquez, the director of the Rocky Horror Show at the Old Globe Theater. The Rocky Horror Show actually changed my life in many, many ways. Many wonderful ways. I was early on in my directing career when the Globe asked if I wanted to step in as director. I came in late on the project, and the cast had been chosen, the design team was already working, and the costumes, the sets were already being built. So stepping in at that point was a little bit scary. Stepping into somebody else's world that they had already started to create. It was one of those moments, I remember very vividly, where you have one of those 3-minute conversations in your brain in the matter of 3 seconds, where every scenario zoomed through my brain of whether this was a good idea to say yes and jump on board. And of course, it was the best idea. It was a level that I had yet to work at. It was with a design team of creative artists that I had heard about and seen their work. And now I was being given the opportunity to collaborate with them. And then this cast, this unbelievably phenomenal cast of singers and dancers and actors who, quite honestly, I had seen many of them in Broadway shows every time I'd gone to New York. So it was an opportunity for me to jump and to say, this is a big risk. I don't know what's going to happen, but it can change your life if you take that risk. And it did. It opened so many doors professionally, but also just personally. The designers that I now have relationships with, these actors that I became friends with that now I have relationships with, it turned out to be a really special project. It's also, Rocky Horror started, you may not know this, Rocky Horror started as a stage musical before it became the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I lost my virginity when I was 15. I don't know, can I say that? Can the guy who directs Grinch say he lost his Rocky Horror virginity at 15? But when I was in high school, that's what we would do for cast parties. We would all suit up in our lingerie and our platform shoes, and we'd go down to the Ken Theater here in San Diego, and we'd see the midnight screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So I loved that music and that story growing up, and I loved the message of the story growing up. This message of expression and freedom and saying yes and taking risks. And really, one of the biggest themes of it, I think, is don't dream it, be it. Get out and do it and live life to your fullest extent and ability. So it was awesome to get to bring that message to the Old Globe stage. And look, it was a little risky putting it on the Old Globe stage. What were the audiences going to think? But if you take a step back and think about it, the generation before mine was really the first audience and the first group of fans for Rocky Horror, and then my generation, and then the generation behind mine. So there were 3 generations of audience members ready to take on the Rocky Horror Show and come support us and see us at the Globe. I'll never forget First Preview. First Preview was a packed audience of people who didn't necessarily look like they belonged at the Rocky Horror Show. And I sat in the back row of the audience, and the show started. There was silence. There was kind applause for the opening number. And then the show got moving a little further, and I remember I'll never be more grateful than the moment that I heard someone from the audience call Janet a slut. I immediately took the biggest breath of my life. And then, when Over at the Frankenstein play started, and lighters started coming out above people's heads, and the entire theater suddenly filled with everybody with lighters above their heads and holding newspapers over their heads to cover the fake rain, I just broke out into tears. I thought, okay, this is going to work. This is going to work. And over the course of our run, we had audiences screaming and interjecting and participating with the show, and coming back 3 or 4 times to see it again. I think that's part of the power of Rocky Horror, is it is this gathering of people given permission to express themselves, which is really, really a wonderful thing. Our production, I loved it. there was a little bit of an updated modern spin on it. We were 100% faithful to the original story, but the design had a little bit of a sexy MTV updated look. The choreography by J.T. Hornstein was, I remember him making that cast run the time warp 5 times in a row every day to build their stamina. This cast was dancing their butts off and most of their clothing off. It was a great time. It was, again, like I said, it changed my life. It was the opportunity for me to take a big risk and jump off the cliff and no longer dream it, but be it. And make some new friends and share some joy with San Diego. One of the, since we are all in quarantine, I do worry about exercise, and getting exercise while we're in quarantine is very important. So I think we should time warp. Yeah? I think we should time warp. Get up with me. If I did hear a rumor also that the most popular video on the Old Globe website is a time warp tutorial. So if you'd like a fuller version of the time warp, you can click the link over here. I don't know, can you do that? Can you post the link somewhere for them to click? Somewhere here. But if you can't get that link, here's a quick demonstration of the time warp. All right, are you ready, everybody? Shake it out. First, it's just a jump to the left, and then a step to the right. You put your hands on your hips and bring your knees in tight. It's the pelvic thrust that really drives you insane. Let's do the time warp again. One more time. Let's do the time warp again. Beer. It's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. But listen closely. Not for very much longer. I've got to be control. Drinking those moments when the madness will hit me, and the more you beat, just a jump to the left. With your hands on your hips. It's just a jump to the left, and then a step to the right. Let your hands on your hips, and bring it in tight. Notice the pelvic thrust that really drives me insane. Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
Say something, Brad.
Say, do you guys know how to Madison?